We want to talk about the milestones. What do you expect to see in your toddler at age 1, 18 months? What about the 3-year-old? That fun age, the terrific two. Not the terrible, the terrific two.
Cussons, baby, Cussons, baby, Cussons made with love. Happiness in every rub.
Welcome to the Cussons Baby Bump to Baby Show, where we walk with you through your pregnancy until your little one arrives. My name is Esther the doula, and I'm so excited to be here with you today. Today we talk about that exciting age, the toddler. Toddlers are amazing little human beings. They are fun, but they can drive you mad. We want to talk about the milestones. What do you expect to see in your toddler at age 1, 18 months? What about the 3-year-old? We're going to be discussing the milestones that they achieve during this time. We're going to be discussing how your toddler develops through the toddler year. There are some categories we want to look at when we look at the milestones that your toddler achieves. The first one we want to talk about is the social and emotional growth of your little one. We will also look at the language and communication skills of your little one. We will also be looking at the cognitive development of your baby. How does your baby learn? How do they develop their problem-solving skills? And finally, we will look at how they move. Movement, how do they learn how to walk, to run? Welcome to the program. Let's talk about your 1-year-old toddler. What is the social development that you expect? Your 1-year-old will have stranger anxiety. What does that mean? They do not like strangers. They want to be around you. That's why they cry when you leave the home. They just want to be where you are. Anytime you go to the toilet, they follow you. They're shy around the neighbors or other people. You will also find that this toddler at this point will want to give you directions. When they want water, they point at it. They want you to give it to them. They hold your hand to guide you to where they are because they can't quite speak, but they're guiding you. They are very loving. They like cuddles and hugs. And when they see you, they run to you and give you a hug. Your toddler at 1 year will also show fear in some situations. You'll hear like a loud noise. They'll run. They'll be very fearful. And they also tend to repeat words or sounds that they hear. Like, for example, if you say shoop, they'll say shoop in return. That's how your baby develops socially at 1 year. How does your 1-year-old develop in language and communication? They tend to be very, very interesting. They're going to talk back to you with sounds that sound like language, and they will actually intonate almost like they're asking you a question. So they might be like, na 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 na. So they are actually asking you questions. They're learning, understanding how language works. They might also show movements of their head to indicate something they want, like yes and no, or using their hands like pointing at you. Don't, Some of them might say bye-bye or give me. So they're using actions. And then they might be able to say dada and mama. I don't know why they always say dada first, but well, they might say dada or mama. And if they have a sibling, you might find that they get a name for that sibling. They might also respond to simple requests like come here, go there, dance, clap. They really love that. They really love to follow instructions. That's your 1-year-old. Let's talk about the cognitive development of your 1-year-old. You find like they like to explore. They like that kitchen cabinet that has all the pots and pans because when they bang them together, they realize, oh, when I bang them, they make this certain noise. You'll find that they also want to go to places that generally are hidden. You'll find they go to the toilet to discover what's in the bowl. They're very, very curious. You will find like they will take a container, put another container, try and fit things together. They are actually learning the cause and effect of something. What happens if I do this? This gives me this. They also follow simple instructions like pick up the spoon, feed yourself, go there, come here. That's part of understanding something and actually doing the action. What have you noticed your 1-year-old doing? Do they copy your gestures? Like if you do, then they also, small things like those actually mean that the cognitive development of your baby is happening. What about movement and physical development? You might find that this is the time your toddler starts to learn how to walk. So you might find they sit, they're able to move from a sitting position to a standing position. They'll use furniture to be able to pull themselves up. They might stand alone. They stand and, it's so exciting to them standing, then they get scared, then they sit down. And then they might take a few steps, especially when you're not noticing. They they tend to like try and move and look around to see if you're noticing. That's your toddler at 1 year, trying to learn how to walk and sometimes already walking. So how can you help your baby's development at 1 year? Number one, praise them when they do something. Like for example, if they, copy you or do something that you haven't seen them do before, praise them and say, yay, well done. They really love that, and that helps them to grow and do it again. Give them toys, blocks. They don't even have to be expensive toys. Even those cartons, milk cartons, or jars that you have in the house, give it to them. Let them figure it out. Let them play with their hands, because that helps them practice how to use their hands and how to solve problems. One of the favorite games for babies is peekaboo or hiding stuff. So hide things and let the baby find them. Hide yourself. Go and hide under the chair and see if your baby will find you. Those are ways that help your baby actually learn how to solve problems. Sing songs. Music is a way that children learn, and children are able to internalize things more when you sing. Songs like the wheels on the bus go round and round, and you do all the actions. They will help the baby start to practice. Let the baby copy you, and they actually learn more that way. Children love to make noise. It might drive you mad, but noise makes babies learn better. So have that pot, or a sufuria as we call it, and have a wooden spoon and let the bang, 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 bang. You can get other toys that make noise. That's a way your child starts to internalize how to make movement and even sound. As they bang, they're practicing how to use their hands. As they listen, they're learning different ways of understanding sounds. As they move around that particular thing, they learn how to walk and crawl around it. So it's a fun way for your babies to learn. Let's talk about your 18-month-old toddler. These are exciting times for you. Your toddler will be able to hand over things to you. You find they come, they give it to you, and they expect you to give it back to them. And that game can keep on going. They give you give it back to them, they give it back to you. They really like that. They also have temper tantrums. You know those things, they start rolling themselves on the ground. And most times it's because they feel out of control. Your toddler feels really grown up, and when things don't go their way, they feel so frustrated that they roll themselves on the ground. They have those tantrums. They also find like they have favorite people that they love and give hugs, and they also don't like strangers. So they will hide under your skirt or behind you if they see a stranger. Your toddler will play pretend games like with a doll, washing their hair, pretending that that's a baby. All this shows that your baby is now making connections about how to interact with other people. What about your baby's language development? Communication. You'll find like they say simple sentences, one-word sentences. Water, go, come, They also will tend to shake their heads very vigorously if they dislike something or nod their head very fast. Those are some of the things that you'll notice in your toddler at this age. What about their cognitive development, their learning, their problem-solving skills? You'll find that they will tend to point at other people. If they feel interested about something, they will be very interested in their body parts. And when you tell them, where is your head? They point at it. Where is your nose? They point at it. So they're actually learning and making connections about their own body. They will show interest in things like dolls, stuffed animals, and they tend to play pretend games with those in a way that actually makes sense. So like, for example, when you say sit down, they will sit down and then put their doll to sit down. So they're making connections from the stuffed animals to themselves. They will also follow verbal commands like sit down, get up, let's go. Very simple sentences, but they tend to understand and actually do that. That shows that your baby is problem solving, is learning, and making connections with the world in terms of their cognitive development. Let's talk about their movement and physical development. Now they're able to walk alone without any help. They'll try and go up and down the stairs. You'll find them trying to remove their clothes and trying to put them back on. They can eat with a spoon. They can drink from a cup, and they're getting confident in how they use their legs and their hands. That's the physical development we expect to see in your 18-month-old. So how can you help your baby's development at 18 months? Continue to hide things under the table, under the blanket. Let your baby find them. Ask them, where's the ball? They'll try and look for it, and that is also helping them to problem solve. Babies love books. Take books, point out pictures, give them instructions, make funny sounds as you read books. That helps them to Understand, look at a picture, make sense of what it is. It's helping their cognitive development. Provide toys like balls to roll and play, like dolls that they can feed and, comb their hair, like other toys that help them make noise, cognitive development in terms of how they solve problems, like fitting one shape to the other. That is really useful in how they actually develop both movement, sound, communication, using their hands. Very important. So toys, and they don't have to be expensive toys, just things around the house that they can use to develop these skills. Provide safe areas in the home that the baby can play. Like, for example, in my kitchen, when my babies were small, I had this drawer that they were allowed to go and play. It had all the plastic bowls, some pots and pans that they could play with that couldn't hurt them, but they knew that was a safe drawer to play with. You can have an area in the kitchen, in the bedroom, in the sitting room that your baby can actually explore and feel free to grow. They do need that safety, but they also need to be able to have freedom to move around. Make sure that you take them outside, because when they're outside, they're able to run around and practice how to walk and run and go up the steps. That's really important for the whole development of your 18-month-old. Let's talk about your 2-year-old. That fun age, the terrific two. Not the terrible, the terrific two. This toddler will copy other people. Like when you do something, you find them really copying. I know this meme where there's an old person walking, shuffling, and the toddler is walking behind them, copying the same way. They will also want to be very clingy to the parents. They want the people they're familiar with, but they like other children. When they see other children, you'll see them wanting to be with them because they can understand we are the same age. Even if it's not quite the same age, they want to be around those children. You will also find that they are very defiant. No means I'm gonna do it. So they are just trying to push their independence. They're trying to establish independence. So everything that you say is a no. They're just trying to establish who the boss is. They think they are, even though mama and papa are. This is how you know that your baby is actually going socially and emotionally, and that they are reaching the milestones as they reach the age of 2. What is the language and communication development of your 2-year-old? They will be able to point out things in books, things they know, like they see truck, car, and they point it out to you. They really want you to know that they know. They also tend to really communicate to favorite people. They know the names of favorite people or favorite animals. If they have a pet, you'll find them calling them by name. They tend to also want to interact with people that they're familiar with. They will also do short sentences, 2 to 4 words. This is a car. And they're really excited about saying that. They will also repeat words that you say. So you want to be careful about what you say around them, because they might just repeat something that you don't want someone else to hear. And this is how you know that your toddler is actually developing in their language and communication. What about their cognitive development? You will find that they will be able to name items in a book like they've been reading. They'll finish sentences in a book if they know like a rhyme. Like if you say the wheels on the bus, they'll say, go round and round. So they tend to finish those rhymes. You might also find that they'll be able to follow 2-step instructions. Like, for example, let's tidy up, let's go there. That's a really fun thing to see. They will also be able to sort shapes and colors and different sizes. And in that way, you also notice that they will use one hand better than the other one. If you notice your baby using one hand more than the other, for example, they're using their left hand to solve problems, it's important to let the baby's natural process go through and not try to change them, because their brain is firing up. It's trying to make these connections. And when you interfere with that, it might affect how your baby actually makes connections and how they learn. For your 2-year-old, wow, they move. And this movement is everywhere. They will climb that furniture. They will go up the stairs and down again. And your heart is so like, oh my God, they're gonna fall. They are so experimental, and that's part of their physical development. They will also want to use their hands a lot, so they get their hands into everything. And you will also find they are running, they are kicking the ball or kicking other things, and they are just trying to figure out how to move. That's why we sometimes call them terrible, but really they're just learning how to move, and it's an exciting time. And create a safe space for your baby to be creative, to learn how to move. What are some of the tips that you can do to help your 2-year-old develop? Number 1, you know those blocks. building them up and then knocking them down again, and then building them up again. They help your baby do cause and effect and learn how to use their hands and also problem solve. You can go on the floor with a paper and pen, could have paint, and just do things with crayons, and your baby really enjoys that because they are practicing how to use their fingers, how to hold a pen, and that's also a fun time because they're communicating. They really love that. Babies at this age love being little helpers, so you can give them a little bag to carry, give them stuff to do, like for example taking a plate to the kitchen. They really love that, and that's still helping them practice their coordination, their cause and effect, listening to instructions. So in that small action, you're developing your baby. You can kick a ball from one end to the other, have the baby kick it back to you. You can have a track that you push to them and they push back to you. That's really reciprocal play, and that helps them to learn how to interact with one another, how to share. You can also have some music that you put on and you dance together, and they are copying you and they are looking. So it's fun, it's music. So they're learning how to move their bodies. And finally, take them out for a walk, out in nature. Let them see trees, repeat after you, pick up rocks, look out at animals, at birds. All that is helping them communicate. They're running, they're moving. So wholesome interaction will help them grow optimally. Let's talk about your 3-year-old. At 3 years, your baby is now socially developed. They will want to make friends. You find them going, introducing themselves, even though it doesn't look like it. They make friends. They are happy to be without you. You find them telling their parents bye-bye. They're not as clingy as before. They will also show concern, like when they see a friend crying or somebody being sad, they'll want to say what's wrong or say sorry, so they understand emotions. They will undress themselves. They will follow cues from other people, and they will also want to be able to be very actively involved in other social activities. Like for example, if someone is dancing, they will go and join in the dancing. If somebody is playing something, they'll want to go and play along. They are a fun time, and it's important to encourage them as they grow. Your toddler will also be able to understand the concept of mine, his, hers, and you'll find them really appreciating that by saying, this is my book, this is mine, that is hers. They understand that concept. They also have a wide range of emotions. You'll find them being sad, they'll cry and say, I'm sad. They'll actually say what they're feeling. They'll say, I'm happy today, mama. So that's a really fun age too. They also don't like change. If there's a change in their routine, that really bothers them. So they want a distinct way to know how their day will go, and they thrive in that. So it's important to keep the routine that they are used to. As they speak, they actually speak clearly. You're able to understand them. And the fun thing is that they know their name. They can say their age. I am 3. They even know I am a boy, I'm a girl. So they do tend to be really interactive. And it's important to keep talking to them so that they can develop more and more of their language skills. For their cognitive development, this is that stage where the word why will become their favorite vocabulary. It's because they're just trying to understand the world. So you'll find like they can be able to copy, like if you draw a circle, they're able to outline it and copy that. They will be able to form simple structures. They can be able to make toys, levers, like things that make connections, especially if they're looking at instructions. You'll find like those puzzles, fitting one puzzle to the other. That's a fun game for them. They do like to play make-believe with people, with their dolls, with their pets. And it's because they are seeing what is happening in their world and they try and copy that and make it part of play. They also can do simple sums, like if you tell them what is 1 + 1, they say 2. They can actually make that connection. And finally, they can follow simple instructions like switch off the light or do a certain activity. This is important. Keep talking to your baby, keep giving these instructions. It really helps them grow their cognitive skills. What about their movement and moving from one one place to the other, their physical development. They run, they really run well. They can play a game. They can ride a tricycle. That's when most times you get the first bicycle or tricycle for your baby. They can balance on one leg. They can do a cartwheel. And it's important to create this environment so that they can grow, have confidence in the things that they do, and really develop their movement and physical skills. What are some of the things you can do to help your baby's development? You can do matching games, have puzzles, counting games, naming of body parts. This is your hair, this is your hands, your feet. Those are really important because they are making those connections with your baby. Try to give simple tasks, like for example, wipe the table, take the cup to the kitchen, take your plate to the kitchen, put margarine on your bread. Some of these little tasks help the babies, first of all, make connections, but also practice how to use their hands and also problem solving. At this age, babies are so ready to make friends. So it's nice to have play dates, arrange them with other friends, family, people with the same age, take them to school, Sunday school. They will interact. They will be able to develop their social skills. Hey, time to bust a myth. Is it true that all babies follow the same developmental schedule? Well, not really. All babies are unique, and every baby will grow differently. Even twins tend to grow at a different rate. Be patient with your baby, and if you have any concern, see your doctor. They'll be able to advise you. So, myth busted? Yes. As we come to the end of this conversation, remember there are no set deadlines for how your baby develops. Every baby is unique and they will follow their own timeline. If you have any concerns, please speak to your healthcare provider. They'll be able to provide answers. I am so happy. It's been amazing hanging out with you. I hope to see you next time. For more information on your bump to baby journey, follow us on our socials.